The Libya story hasn't passed the smell test with me from the very beginning, but it keeps getting worse. I'm going to show you the latest news today. We know now that the White House was told, they were informed within 2 hours after the attacks began on Ambassador Stevens and his personnel, that they were indeed planned attacks by a known terrorist group. Now, here are the emails. These came out last night after the broadcast. There are 3 emails. These went to just about everybody at the State Department, everybody at the Pentagon, and you'll see all the addresses, and also the White House Situation Room. Email number 1 came in at 4:05 p.m. The subject, U.S. diplomatic mission in Benghazi under attack. The regional security officer reports the diplomatic mission is under attack. 20 armed people fired shots. Explosions have been heard as well. Ambassador Stevens, who is currently in Benghazi, and 4 comm personnel are in the compound safe haven. The 17th of February militia is providing a security support. That is really important to remember that. The Operations Center will provide updates as available. Email number 2. This one came in at 4:54 p.m. Embassy Tripoli reports firing a U.S. diplomatic mission in Benghazi has stopped. The compound has been cleared. Response team is on site attempting to locate comm personnel. Email number 3, 6:07. Embassy Tripoli reports the group claimed embassy on Facebook and Twitter has called for an attack on Embassy Tripoli. Now, these are three emails that have gone to, this was at the Situation Room. The president was scheduled to be upstairs at 5 o'clock in his Oval Office, meeting with the Secretary of Defense. Everyone had these emails, everyone. These emails were accompanied with video and links to be able to see everything live as it was happening. It makes it very, very clear. This was a terrorist attack conducted by a terrorist organization. There's nothing in here about a YouTube video. So why was Susan Rice and the others in the administration running around the media for weeks claiming that the best information available was that it was a spontaneous crowd? There's nothing about that in these or in any of these documents that are now coming out. None of them. So who told Susan Rice and the president that this was a reaction to a YouTube video?
Let me tell you the best information we have at present. First of all, there's an FBI investigation which is ongoing, and we look to that investigation to give us the definitive word as to what transpired. But putting together the best information that we have available to us today, our current assessment is that what happened in Benghazi was, in fact, initially a spontaneous
the best information they've been able to put together. We have their best information. There's nothing about it. There's nothing about it. The three emails, the cables that they got, don't say anything about that. They attach the blame to a terrorist organization. So who told the president about the YouTube video? Where is any of that information? If the president wanted to be cautious with the facts, then he would run with these. Because he had not only these 3, but that whole stack over there, and 12 reports within 6 hours from, I believe, 12 different agencies, all saying terrorist attack. So why would he go for the video and then indict a filmmaker with no evidence? Honestly, the video part of this lie is the least important part, because that part is important, but it leads you down the road. Is he doing the work of the Muslim Brotherhood's project? Because he knew full well, within 2 hours, this was an organized terrorist attack. Why would he choose to say we should curb freedom of speech? Why? And here's where it gets really disturbing. Why would he choose not to send in a quick response force? Now, we have bases all over the world, but this is why we have bases. We have a base in Sicily. This is about 45 minutes. What a quick reaction force does is this is what it's made for. If something goes down, they grab their equipment, they grab their men, get them on planes, and get to the situation. They're right there. Why were they not dispatched to Benghazi? Why were people in the Situation Room standing around watching our people get killed? Help could have been there within the hour. The attacks were monitored in real time by the State Department, by the Pentagon, by the CIA, and in the Situation Room. How could they have all of this information and not do anything? Why was there a drone flying over Benghazi? Drones just don't happen to be floating around random cities all over the world. Who ordered the drone? Where did it come from? When was it ordered? Why was it ordered? On the anniversary of 9/11, when security concerns were so high, why was the ambassador anywhere near the most dangerous city possibly in the Middle East? You know, it's frustrating because I blew my stack today because there are times that I think if I were in the hallways of New York, but that is the wrong way to think of it. We are on a long-term mission here to rebuild the networks because the networks are failing. They are failing, and they're just not telling you the truth, and I don't know why. But we have 2 weeks now. We were the first to bother to look into this. It bothered me. We reported on September 17th that Stevens was there on a weapons mission. Now, this was my gut at the time, but there were some things that I knew. That was a CIA safe house. That the guys who died were CIA agents. They were looking for weapons. This is something to do with gun running. That was my gut on September 17th. And I said, listen, I want you to know this is my gut, but this is what's happening. Now the administration's efforts to support the Libyan and Syrian rebels is beginning to be reported by the media, but nobody's tying it all together. Obama chose to help the radicals and the Islamists. They needed to find somebody to broker the weapons deals with these rebel armies, these really bad guys. And I believe Ambassador Stevens was that person. The ambassador was a CIA agent. If you look at the timeline of Stevens' evening on 9/11, remember, this is not a consulate building. This is not an embassy building. This is a safe house. And the only safe houses we have are CIA safe houses. So on the most dangerous day of the year, in one of the most dangerous cities in the world, the ambassador is there with no protection at a CIA safe house. Benghazi time. Look at the timeline. At Benghazi time, at what is it, 6:54. Benghazi time. One of the agents, Sean Smith, was on an internet gaming message board. He posted online, we're in real trouble, assuming we don't die tonight, we'll talk later. I just saw one of our police, quotation marks, that guard the compound taking pictures. Well, there's a couple of things here. Why was he posting this, a CIA agent, on a gaming website? The gaming website's not a CIA front. But I believe this is a place where he said, listen, if I'm in trouble, I will let you know on this site. He did. We're in trouble. He gives them information. There's somebody taking pictures, and it's the guards. Remember the guards. Remember that part. He says the police with air quotes. Why? That indicates sarcasm. The police. Well, as you're about to see, there's a very good reason for that sarcasm. I'll explain in a minute. At 7:30 p.m., a mere 34 minutes after Smith posts that and says, hey, there's trouble. I just saw something's going on. People are watching the exits. Ambassador Stevens, he takes in another meeting, this time with the Turkish Consul General. Now, what do you suppose Turkey would be meeting with the American ambassador in Benghazi about at that time? What's bizarre is he comes in while they're under threat. They know inside the compound they're under threat. And here comes the Turkish ambassador. Why would the ambassador put the guy from Turkey in jeopardy? Remember Turkey. 8:30 p.m. Stevens walks the Turkish visitor to the main gate and returns back to the residence. The Turkish Consul General leaves without incident. No riots, no protests, nothing happens to that guy. That's strange, isn't it? They're watching the place. Here comes the guy from Turkey, comes in and out. What did they talk about? Can somebody tell us what that meeting was about? 9:40 p.m., the assault begins, and the sound of gunfire erupts. and an American diplomat security agent looking at closed-circuit TV screens in the operations center saw armed men swarming through the compound. He hit the alarm and started shouting, "Attack, attack," over the loudspeaker. The ensuing fight lasted over 7 hours until the break of dawn. Okay. The president was watching this in the Situation Room. And if he wasn't, why weren't you, Mr. President? You were there. You were at the White House. Why weren't you downstairs watching this live feed? Why was the Turkish general, why was the general counsel allowed to leave the compound by these rebels? It was about to be assaulted. Presumably, the attackers were getting into position. Did they wait for the Turkish general counsel to leave? Is he part of it? Is Turkey part of it? Who in their right mind would have a friendly meeting with a U.S. ambassador under heightened security risk in Benghazi? Which brings me to this. If you turn to page 38, these are all the documents we have uncovered. Documents here. This one is unclassified. This is a brief from the State Department, dated September 4th. In this document, they point out that Benghazi has been placed on maximum security. It talks about, public comments from senior Interior Ministry officials August 29th regarding blah, 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 blah. You don't need all this stuff. You know what this means? The city of Benghazi put a maximum alert out. They told all of their police, you got to stay on extra duty, you've got to watch everything. That's what this means. In response to our long-standing request. Okay? That happened September 4th. Why would our ambassador on September 11th have somebody important come to visit him? Why would we not have an aircraft carrier presence in the Mediterranean? We have plenty of time. We have plenty of warning. You'll see they were over here getting ready for exercises, CV-69 and 65. Those are aircraft carriers. And they're getting ready for these exercises a week later on Iran. But there's nobody in the Mediterranean. And there's all this information, document after document. Something's coming. Here's the problem with all of this. All of this stuff is just loose pieces. And when you read, and the New York Times is amazing to me. Because the New York Times is actually, they are reporting some of these things. They are. But if you're are you a puzzle person? I hate these things. My wife loves them. You got all these puzzle pieces. And the press does this all the time. They do this. They don't put the puzzle pieces together. And I think it's because when you do, you begin to see something very disturbing. You have to look at each piece, and you have to put it all together. And you're like, oh, look, it's blue. And they'll spend 5 minutes on TV saying, look at this, it's blue. It's blue. It's very important that this is blue. And in other news, it's green. It's green, and it's very important that it's green. They never put any of this stuff together. They never say, I wonder what picture it's starting to make. It makes the New York Times, I guess, feel better that they reported the gun running, the aircraft carriers, the Turkish general counsel, but they never put it all together. We did. And the picture is frightening, and you need to share it with your friends.